the model that we use for the Well-Being Way, and we just call it the Well-Being Way model, really is a very simple model. And again, it's somewhat a metaphor. It's not like we go around saying, well, here's the model of the Well-Being Way, and here's step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is how you live it. That's not really what it's designed to be. And it actually came from my colleague Doug Newberg, who has been investigating this process for nearly 20 years now. He just started interviewing gold medal athletes, Grammy award-winning musicians, CEOs, surgeons, fighter pilots, any of those kinds of folks who are really engaged in living, and he just interviewed them. How did you get to this point? How do you do this? And they kept telling him the same thing. Well, I kind of had this feel of when I was doing stuff that felt really cool, and I wanted to do more of that. So they paid attention to when that was really happening. They built their life around it. They face all kinds of obstacles. If you're trying to get a record deal and you're new, I mean, who's going to give you a record deal? So you got to figure out how to get through those obstacles. And then they're very good at refueling and reconnecting themselves to the feel. And so feel is really kind of the first component of the model is, how do you want to feel? The second component is really paying attention to that and preparing to experience it. So you've kind of got this maybe fueling the feel. You got the feel, and you got to really fuel it. That's by paying attention to it. In those moments, again, when are you most expressive and so forth. And then we include obstacles in the model because, again, you're going to face obstacles. I mean, the folks that we've talked to over the years in terms of who really live this, they know obstacles are part of the deal. I mean, it's part of the process. But if you bring your feel into obstacles, you can work with them in a much better way. So you've got feel, you've got paying attention, you've got the obstacles, and then the other component is the refueling part, is that when you face obstacles, you need to refuel. What happens is that sometimes when people get to obstacles, that's kind of the danger point in a way, because if they don't go back and refuel, what they end up doing is saying, I need to go back in and work harder, or prepare, or fuel up. And that's not necessarily the route to go, because then you just keep going back and forth between obstacles and preparation, and you just get trapped. And you cut yourself off. You cut yourself off from your own feel. And so what happens when people do that? Well, the day becomes drudgery. They get burned out. They give up. They quit. This is how people do it. This is how they live this rich, meaningful, purposeful life. And let's go see if it works with ninth graders or if it works with college students. And at this point, and after doing this for about 10 years, I would say it works for the most part, because it ends up being about you and not about the experts.
I really focused on, special things about themselves and picked out the differences amongst the group, and then talked about what did they like to do. And okay, well, you like to do this, how often do you do this, why do you do this, really focusing on that to help them kind of realize, like, oh, I do this every day, and I like to do this. And then I'd give them stuff that they didn't like to do, and I'd be like, okay, well, why don't you like to do that? And just kind of making them realize the difference on their own, but kind of pushing them in that direction.
But she wouldn't stop asking you questions, like she'd drill you on it and like get it out of you. So, I mean, like, she did a really good job.
They always say that you learn the most by teaching people, and I think by teaching the ninth graders or mentoring them really helped me re-implement my feel into what I was doing, because if I'm teaching them something, I really need to be doing it myself.
She really put a lot into each time she was working with the kids, and just because of that, I can respond that my experience, it was good.
I felt really connected to our mentor. I really liked her. She gave specific examples and personal examples and stuff, and like she did her best to try to kind of make friends with us and stuff, and made everything more enjoyable.
Yeah, we have the same mentor, so she kind of put herself in our shoes and like told us like what she did to find her feel.
It was good because they already went through everything they were going through.
Like they can relate. You can relate to them, and they can relate to you in a way because they've been through it, and you're going through it.
And then we're going to go through it.
She shared also, and like kind of not pushy about things, which made things a lot easier. So more like one of us instead of like an adult forcing us to do things.
They really enjoyed having a college student because they felt like they could really relate to us.
Because, I mean, I'm not exactly an authority. I'm just a little bit older than those guys.
My favorite thing was connecting with the students personally, because I would go out in Oxford to the grocery store and they would see me and be like, "Oh, Mindy, like, how are you?"
Brittany took over a lot. She basically ran. I interjected when I could and tried to augment things, but she had a quick classroom management style. She was friendly.
The next unique fact, I wonder who this is about, is all of my toes are the same size except the baby toe. Who's that about? Me. People call me finger toes. I literally can go like this with my toes. I can pick up things. Really weird. But they're not like, I don't know, they're not like ugly toes or anything, but they're just weird, trust me.
No, baby toes on there. It's there, it's just hiding because it's sad.
We had a lot of kids that Hillary and I were really surprised talked at all. And, you know, she was really good about remembering what their feel was and asking them, you know, have you taken any good photos lately? She was really good in making them see that we actually listened and we actually cared about what we were discussing, even if it was just, you know, 40 minutes once a week.
It was just really rewarding, and the fact that none of them wanted me to go, and they were all, "Oh, you're not coming back next week, can we get a hold of you somehow, and take care, good luck," that sort of thing. I think in general it was rewarding in that the fact that they were relating to me, that they got something out of it.